Hi, this is Chaplain William Johnson from the Spiritual Care Department here at Christian Hospital, and I want to welcome you once more to another Monday morning meditation. We're so grateful for the privilege of sharing with you these words of inspiration and encouragement, and we hope that they meet you along the way for your journey. It is such a privilege to be able to share with you today. To our administration here at Christian Hospital, thank you so much. To our president and your dedicated staff, to our COO, our CEOs, to our we don't knows, all those persons from the cafeteria uh, uh, to the doctor's offices, to those who bring us our food, to those who are security throughout the hospital, for those who work in communications and in the operator's booth to make sure that we're connected to one another. Thank you all so much for all that you do. There's so many that I probably shouldn't have started calling names, but for all of you, for our hospital community, you make it happen and you make it work. And to our patients and families, thank you so much for entrusting us to care for you at this very important time in your lives. It is really a great privilege to share. Now, to our Monday morning meditation. We want you to know that today, as we have done each week, we do want your feedback about how we can do this a little better and how we can be most productive and efficient in meeting your needs and supporting you as you do this great work or as you're working to recover, doing all the hard work to get better. We want you to know that we're here for you. Today's Monday morning meditation is entitled Here and There. Here and There. The title for this meditation is not an original one. I didn't just pull it out of the air. I wish I had. But I was reading as a part of my meditative time an author who is one of my favorites. His name is Mark Nepo. That's Mark Nepo. Mark Nepo. And I am really grateful for what he writes. He talks about here and there. And in it, he tells the story of about his own experience of sitting at this little place on a lake where he would look off across the lake early in the morning and see the sunlight shining just perfectly on the lake and leading to a destination across from him at another patch of land that looked so mysterious and glorious. He imagined that place was so exotic. And so he would sit there time and time again, imagining what it would be like to be on the other side. So much so that he couldn't help himself. So he got into his boat early one morning after a few days or a few weeks and made his way to the other side, to the place where he imagined it to be extraordinarily exotic. He gets out, he beaches his boat, and when he gets there and he sits in that very spot, he's somewhat disappointed because all of the majesty and all the mystery of the place wasn't so mysterious and wasn't so majestic. In fact, from where he sat, he looked back across the lake and looked at the place where he had been before, and it looked awfully exotic and all awfully majestic. And so is the story of our lives between the here and the there. We often find ourselves struggling sometimes, imagining what life would be on the other side, in another place, in another home, on another job, in a new location. We imagine what life would be like once we retire, or once we get our career together, or once we meet the love of our lives, or once we have our children, or we imagine what life looks like on the other side, only to discover that many of us have been fortunate to try and to get in our proverbial boats and row ourselves to the other side, to the very spot that we thought we wanted to stand in or be in or rest in, only to discover that what we left had as much value as where we have arrived. Yeah, that's something today. As you are trying to get to where you're going, don't miss the moments that you're in. We have value, and these moments have value. I used to hear some of the more mature people in my life when I was a young pastor say, the grass isn't greener on the other side, they would say. The grass is not necessarily greener on the side you're on, they would also add, but the grass is greener where you water it. Yeah, such profound wisdom in simple sayings, right? Many of you have heard that before, but it's true, I believe. I believe that something that God does for us in allowing us to be able to embrace the life that we have, however frustrating it may be, however difficult it may be, however many hardships we may find, we discover that God shows up in those moments. And sometimes we rush off to get to something else, not knowing that the most valuable piece of our lives sits right where we have been the whole time. So I love this quote by Mark Nepo. He says this. He says, "So often we imagine that there is more full of gold than here. It is the same with love and dreams and the work of our lives. We see the light everywhere, but where we are, and chase after what we think we lack, only to find, humbly, it is with us all along." That's what I mean. That what we discover is that all along, that which the divine, we call God, we call what we find meaning in, has been with us all along. And while we're chasing after it, building our lives, searching for it in those things, I kind of chuckle to watch people do all that they can do to try to get the good life. And while they're trying to do that, they go to work and leave their families behind. They work, 18-hour days. They don't sleep. They stay on top of the grind in order to make enough money so that they can have time for a vacation, to take a vacation with the very people that they left behind, only to discover that when they get to the place or get to retirement or get the home or get the boat, that they don't always enjoy it as much as they thought they would, because it always looks better when someone else is driving it, and it always looks better when someone else is living in it, and it always looks better when someone else is living it. Well, I want to encourage you. It is you that's special. And as you journey today and journey for the week, be encouraged as you go along. And be aware that the constant common denominator between here and to there is you and your Creator. Yeah, that's it. You're special. And God has loved you so much that God will be with you here, wherever here is, and God will be with you there, wherever there is. And you'll discover that the light always sometimes looks like it's brighter somewhere else, until you get a chance to see what your own environment is and what you look like in it. You're special, you're loved, you're appreciated. And as I always say, you're all those things, and we love you very much. Be encouraged this week. Be encouraged as you go, and know that whether you're here or there, you're special in our hearts and in our minds. Thank you so much. We're praying for you. Pray for us, and give us feedback as you see fit. Thank you. Have a great one.